Okay, update. Boyfriend caught texting the same girl. Got to go to the original post. Me and my boyfriend, both late 20s, are going through a rough patch where around 6 months ago, I caught him talking sexually to a female coworker. He said he was doing it to help his friends. Okay. Another coworker, even though I brought up how none of the messages looked like they were going to help anyone but himself. Why is it when people get caught doing something, they provide the worst lie? Like, what do you mean? You're stupid. If you're gonna do shady, you should at least come up with a story to prepare yourself for the situation. Yeah, I have a girlfriend. She goes to a different school, so you wouldn't know her. Do I look like an idiot to you? This clearly took a huge hit to my trust, and with my prior trust issues already at play, I kind of just shut down for a while trying to pick myself back up and get it together. Now it's 6 months, and I was doing really well, working on trusting and not doubting. That is, until a few days ago, when something told me to look at his phone, and what do I see besides a snap addressed to her? Why did you stay? What are we doing, people? I didn't even know he had her on Snap, but I looked up the name and it's the same girl from before. Now I'm shattered because if he was really trying to work on a relationship and establish my trust again, why would he go back and communicate with the same girl? Because he's a liar. Just to add, nothing I saw was sexual. That doesn't... Does that matter at this point? Even though I can't see everything because Snapchat deletes after viewing. Who in their late 20s is still using Snapchat? If you're still on Snapchat over the age of 25, that's odd to me. I'm sorry. Like, that is where you go to be shady. Where you don't want people to see what you're doing. But it's really the principle on what would possess you to contact someone that almost cost you your whole relationship the first time around. Edit, we've been together 2.5 years. Could have shortened that down to 2. He never intended to save your relationship. He just waited until the dust settled to continue his behavior. I agree. 6 months just to continue talking to a girl who's not even opening your messages for 3 days. I'm actually embarrassed. Oh. Okay. The updated post. I kicked him out of the house after we talked about me finding messages from the same girl as before. Now we're talking. Why didn't you do this 6 months ago? Better late than never, but... Dub. Whatever, dub. It's a dub. I didn't talk to him for a month, and during that month, I really just focused on myself and what would make me happy. I didn't answer any of his calls and only listened to the voice messages he would send me. I called him yesterday to finally talk about the situation and tell him I was done. My focus is split now because of this song, To the Moon by Pitbull and Neo. Oh my god, have you heard it? It's so 2014. Are our millennial pop saviors from back in the day coming back? I think they are. I called him yesterday to talk about the situation and tell him I was done. Period. He gave me the usual, I'm sorry, I've been working on myself, I've reflected, and I mean it this time, blah, blah, blah. I didn't fall for it. Good for you. I told him I didn't trust him and there was no relationship without trust, so this isn't what I wanted anymore. He actually had the nerve to say he didn't care if I trusted him as long as he could have me back. What? He even tried to agree to an open relationship. That would only be benefiting him. Yeah, girl run. We talked for 4 hours, and once he asked me if we could hang out in the future to possibly rekindle things, I was done. I hung up and went about my day. 4 hours is 4 hours too long, honey. But now I get to read about it. When I got home, though, I was laying down and heard my doorbell ring. I thought it was someone else, and I happily ran to the door, only for it to be him. Never answer the door without knowing who it is, for sure. Hello? Survival instincts? I immediately closed the door and locked it as he begged to talk to me, and I said no because we just talked for 4 hours. He then tried to say that he needed to grab some things. No. And I asked him what he needed, and I would bring it out to him. No. He said socks and underwear and a shirt, things I barely had in the house, and I knew he didn't need, but I still grabbed what little I could find. He then said his uncle was outside with a car, and I said, great, you can take all your things then, but he said he had nowhere to put them where he was staying and could come back for them at a later date. Just throw them outside then. Like I said, if you're gonna lie, plan in advance, 'cause you look dumb. I said fine and gave him his things and ignored any further calls. He left me a final voicemail yesterday about how he's changed and that we can come back from this. I'm not coming back from this. Period, sis. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see. Leave his ass out to dry and burn. Begging on our knees to be popular. That's a dream, to be popular. Kill anyone to be popular. Oh, let's read a nasty one. Let's read a nasty, nasty one. My 29F fiance 33M rarely... Oh, that's funny as I love me. During penetrative sex. He says it's fine, but it messes with my head. How do I deal? Would I find this offensive? Hi, everyone. I've been with my fiance for almost 10 years. Pause already. How do I see so many stories of people who are only in their late 20s in these relationships, and they're like, I've been with my partner for like the last 11 years, the last 12 years, since we were 15. And it's like, why? You're so young. It's just, I can't tell you what to do, and I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. It's just, it's crazy to me. Me personally, my own opinion has nothing to do with you. So if you take offense to that, that's a you problem. But like, don't you want to like explore and like see how you feel with other people? I don't know. I cannot imagine being tied to one person like throughout the only 20s I'm ever gonna get. Like, since I was a teenager. I'm not even friends with those same people, but whatever. It's just that always surprises me. He's also my first ever boyfriend, the first person I ever held hands with, kissed, had sex with, everything. I don't know. I do not like relationships. I don't like how people act in relationships. I don't like couples. I don't do romance. So maybe it truly is just me. But that sounds so boring to me. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. It's just, it all seems so boring to me. Nothing to do with this person. I'm just saying. We are set to marry in the winter. It honestly bothers me a lot that I will be marrying the only person I've ever been intimate with, but it's never bothered me enough to end the relationship. He's aware of this, by the way. Of the 10 years we've been together, I can't do it again. Maybe 5% of the time. At this point in our relationship, we have sex about once every other week. Once every other week. I don't mean to sound finger county, like counting on fingers, but he has had 1 O this year with me during penetrative sex. Other times I've been able to give him O's by doing all of that. I wish this wasn't so upsetting to me, but it is. I have no frame of reference here. He's the only dude who's... Yes. I'm afraid there's something wrong with my V. Am I always loose? That's a problem, first and foremost. That's not exactly how it works. Like, you're supposed to be when you're having penetrative, because that's how it fits. So why would... What do you mean you get too slip and slidey? He doesn't feel anything? Listen. We've talked about this, and he's not on any medication. It's frankly dependent on the man. My ex took ages to finish. Really? A friends with benefits I had a while back couldn't seem to finish at all with me. Whoa. Sorry, I feel like I'm seeing the other side. I didn't know this was a thing. But still clearly enjoyed himself since he kept coming back. Although it doesn't sound like this guy is enjoying himself. There's a difference between taking a while to get there and not feeling anything. One person I've been with recently took all of 2 to 3 minutes with prior sessions within the last few hours. Could possibly be death grip syndrome, as other comments have theorized. What the is that? Could just be a quirk of his given how different people are, but it's not a reflection on you at all. Bodies are just weird. This is true. The human body just be doing stuff. LOL at these comments, just mindlessly repeating death grip. That sounds insane, and I don't really want to Google it. If the dude is owing from getting rimmed, the problem is not that he needs hard, aggressive friction on his wang to finish. Sounds like he just might not like penetrative Everybody's bodies are different. Might be a headspace thing, though that would surprise me after 10 years, which you could try to communicate through. It's also possible he's telling the truth. Surprising, I know, that it's just not something he likes. Everything else seems to work. He's still owing with his partner and getting intimate. True. Maybe detached from the notion that PIV is the necessary component. Oh. I'm caught up. Relationships with the partners don't have a wang or a coochie seem to manage that just fine. Okay, so the consensus seems to be his body just don't like it. Like, RIP, girl. And if you need someone who does, maybe don't get married. Wow, I've had a glimpse into how the other side feels about all of that. Fascinating. Truly fascinating. I feel like my mind has opened a little bit. I'm a bit more in tune with the universe.